welcome back to ciLiving. The Miller Park Zoo is engaging the community in conservation, education, and fun, but the job is a lot more than just seeing cool animals all day. Joining me now is Zoo Director Pratte to tell us all about his career and the importance of the behind the scenes of the zoo. Thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely, I'm glad to be here.
All right, so let's start with conservation efforts, and I know that you brought some props, so it's one of my favorite things to talk about, so let's start there.
So, you know, when you're working at an accredited, an AZ Association of Zoos and Aquariums, accredited or a reputable zoo, we're here not just to keep animals under our care and provide the proper care. We're supposed to be connecting people to the greater world, to everything else that's out there. And when, you know, you're in Bloomington Normal in a little tiny zoo in the Midwest,
right.
It seems really kind of hard to make those connections. But a really great example, and my favorite right now, we last week, if anyone was watching social media, had a baby giant anteater born.
Right.
And this was a first for us. It's a really big deal. There's only 90 animals in 49 accredited zoos right now. But we also, over the last couple of years, started supporting the Wildlife Conservation Group in South America, ICAS. They do research, they do protection for anteaters and giant armadillos. And we've been sponsoring an anteater named Jane.
Okay.
And she has a radio caller that we sponsored for them to do research, and so we also get regular updates. So while we have our baby anteater and our participation in the programs here in Bloomington, Illinois at our zoo,
right.
We're also supporting and talking about conservation and what's happening in their native habitats in South America. So it's a connection that we are the stewards that we need to make with our visitors and our guests so they understand the importance of it.
And I think it's really important that you're getting those updates so you're able to keep track of what's going on and see how that sponsorship is being utilized. And then that's something else that things like what we have here in front of us tie in with that, because if you're interested in getting those updates and helping support research and conservation like that, you can choose to spend your money on this type of a souvenir or a gift. And this one ties in with something else you have at the zoo, because this is a sloth.
We've had a busy couple of weeks, and so we did open and have the ribbon cutting for our brand new Linnaeus two-toed sloth habitat. It's in the rainforest at the Miller Park Zoo. And so like one of these with the follow bracelets, this got a little sloth on it. And with the bracelets or the stuffed toys that we actually sell now, there's a variety, but each one also comes with a personal, little app that you can download that tracks your individual animal. We have one like at home, it's an elephant named Poppy, and you can see everywhere Poppy goes. Poppy lives in the Samburu River Valley down in Kenya, which I've actually also been lucky enough to visit on one of my many trips. So you really get some real-time, not only fun and experience in fashion, if you so prefer.
Exactly.
But you actually are contributing to one of the conservation organizations that's been supported by Follow. So we're really excited to have these sorts of products where not only do we have something fun for you to take home or to give, but you're actually making a difference when you're making those purchases.
And it is really fun for kids, because I had bought my nephew a deck of cards that had a shark he could track, and still to this day, this shark follow that I bought when he was maybe 5 or 6, he still can get updates on where his great white shark is actually living in the world. So it's really fun for kids. And then you're also teaching them that progression of why it is important to be a good steward of the environment. Use things like the reusable water balloons that we were making earlier in the show and things like that.
Absolutely, and it's always so timely, because whether it's Shark Week everybody loves, like just in the news in the last couple of weeks, the largest ever recorded great white shark showed up in the Atlantic. Jaws just celebrated its 50th anniversary. And so for those of us that grew up with that, they've played such an integral part of our lives, and there's so many different ways to conserve your favorite species. Bees, bugs, sloths, there's such a variety of opportunities out there, and it's our goal to try and connect people to that.
And whenever Julia is here and she has an ambassador animal from the zoo, she always explains how these animals are doing their job voluntarily. They are a lot of what you've trained them to do, and how they're helping educate people is actually then in turn helping you take proper care of them. So do you want to talk a little bit about the tiger that you've just had?
So we have, when you're looking, there's so much that goes on behind the scenes. And so my background actually, was tigers, giant pandas, a whole bunch of work, but I specialized as an animal trainer. So training them, and it's not tricks so much. So sometimes it looks like that when we do interactions and demonstrations for our visitors. But it's a great example for Rojo. If you followed our social media, a couple weeks before, about a month ago, Rojo had to have a significant medical procedure. And he's very old. Rojo is 18 and a half years old. Everything we could do to prepare him for that day. And so as my background, and Julia helped with the foundation for the training, we worked with our veterinary technician and we taught Rojo to participate. He chose to come up and we shaped him into presenting his side through a barrier so that we could actually voluntarily inject the drugs that would then put him under anesthesia. The big deal for that from an animal welfare perspective is Rojo got to choose to participate. And while he wasn't going to choose to go to sleep necessarily, we needed that to actually get to the medical procedure. He chose to participate, he got a reward for it, and it reduced all the stress, because your other options are vets with dart guns, the animals are afraid,
right.
And so you can eliminate a lot of stressors, and that's what our team really works to do on a regular basis through training, enrichment, and getting them to participate. Rojo, we were successful in voluntarily immobilizing him. It actually went really calmly and quickly. We spent several hours with him under anesthesia. Through x-rays and diagnostics, because we were prepared, we actually did see he had some abscesses in his teeth, and we actually did have to remove one tooth. So this is actually the tooth we removed. You can see there was some breaking at the top, and down at the bottom there was some infection in the base. That's where the abscess was. That's why we had to get it out. But this was a really big deal. If you've never seen one up close, like, well, you know, your enamel part would normally be longer, but this isn't even all of it. This is all of the root. So to be able to get in that's buried so deeply in his jaw, we had to make sure we could monitor him carefully. There were teams of experts. And then when we recovered Rojo, over the next few weeks, we watched him constantly. We had him under observation, we made sure he was healthy, we monitored his well-being, potential of infection, and then now we've got him back. We built him a whole great big new bed structure. There's more environmental complexity, the things that we do to now try and make sure that he's going to succeed and enjoy his last kind of senior years with us is everything we can do. And these are the sorts of behind the scenes opportunities, prepping for medical procedures, daily nutrition and care, allowing them to participate in their care. We do this every day. It's every decision has like these sorts of backgrounds made.
Right, and what's going on for the future. Well, I have lots more questions for you. We're going to take another break, so stick around. Coming up on ciLiving, we are going to learn more about the Miller Park Zoo and how they are improving animals' lives, and also how you can get in on the cause. We will be right back.